Previously on Joe's Video Games, we were working on this cool Gunsmoke pinball machine. Watch parts 1 and 2 below. Now let's get back to smoking. Alright, so now that we have got all that, we turn it on and we're getting lights. Check that out. So, we are going to do the playfield. Now the playfield's already in pretty good shape, but what we're going to do is remove all the plastics. Take, of course, all the rubbers off. Clean. Replace all the light bulbs. Turn that freaking pop bumper cap back around the right way. What were you thinking, people? Turn that back around the right way. Wax, and put it all back together with nice fresh stuff. And we'll see how good that looks. And then we'll play it, right? Okay, so we got most of the playfield cleaned up, and we got the back glass out because we're going to work on it. And so now we are up to troubleshooting it playing. So we hit start, and you can play a game with various things not working, but basically the main problem is if the ball is in the out hole, the score motor down inside the game continuously runs. So I'll show you. We're in game over right now. So it just does that constantly if the ball's in it, which is the score motor doing its thing. So we're going to try to look at the schematics and figure out why it would do that. If you kick the ball out into the lane, it doesn't do it. So it has something to do with that switch on the out lane. So we'll look in the in the out hole. So we'll look in the schematics and see if we can figure out why it would do that. So I got the schematics. I'm going to show you how to track down a problem like that. So Gunsmoke schematics. You can get these from pinballresource.com, pbresource.com. So our problem so whenever the ball is in the out hole, you can hear that if you look through the door, you can see that the score motor is just continuously running. Well, it's not supposed to do because the game's over, right? And it never kicks the ball out. If you hit start to play a game, it kicks the ball out, so that part's working. So here's our score motor on the schematics, and so you see the way that it work, the way it turns on and starts moving is it gets power from one side, from the white, and then it goes through an on and off switch, which is obviously on, but it should be. And then if any of these are connected, it gets power. So you see there's a motor switch that'll keep it connected, but that must not be it because it turns off if the ball's out of the hole. The 50-point relay, same thing if the ball's out of the hole. Blah, 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 blah. So you get down there all the way to the bottom, and the out hole relay, if it's pulled in, it will keep the motor running, right? So that tells me that when the ball's in the hole at the end of the game, the out hole relay shouldn't be pulled in. So now you find, why is the out hole relay pulling in? So you go up on the schematics. Here is the out hole relay. So the way it works is, if it's getting power from this side through this switch on the score motor, E1, and it can also get its power through its own relay, the out hole relay, but that's not what's happening because the ball, once it comes out, the relay must drop out because the score motor stops, so it must be getting its power through this way. So through the switch, so once the ball's off the switch, it stops, so this must be the right area. It's getting power to the out hole relay through the switch, through the game over relay. So this is connected, but since it's the end of the game, that should not be connected. So this switch must be our problem. That must be connected right now, which is how whenever there's something on the out hole switch, the out hole relay is pulled in, which is making the score motor turn. So I've got to find this switch. So on one side, Gameover Relay F, which I believe is how they label their switches on the stacks. Let's see. So, switches of bank relay and operating relay. So it shows you A, B, C, D, E, F. So this one right here, which is 6 switches up, on the Gameover Relay must be closed when it's not supposed to be. So we're going to look at that inside the machine. Now on the Gameover Relay, which is that last one that we already were messing with because it was screwed up. Let me see if I can get the camera in there to show. So the F is this one, right? If I got it right. Might not be able to get enough focus. Oh, there we go. All right. So this blade here is G, and this other long one is F. Now, if you look real close, when this closes, which it has, and whenever the relay pulls in, this F right here should disconnect from the blade above it. And if you look, all three of them are touching. Just that blade so that it works right. So it's a make or break switch that's screwed up. So I looked on the schematics and I said, why is it a make or break switch? So whenever it's Gameover Relay F, whenever it should, that one should be normally closed that we're looking at. But since the relay has now tripped, that should open. And then I looked all around and I finally found where the other part is. It's right here. So the blade below it that it should hit Gameover Relay right F is normally open. And what it does is it turns on the second player lights at the end of the game. So just basically the reason I do that is just so it looks nice. So at the end of the game, all of the score reels are illuminated while it's sitting there. So I'm going to adjust that little switch and we'll see if that fixes our problem. Okay, so adjusting that little switch did in fact fix that part of it. So there's a little thing that goes here whenever those are on that says game over. So we're going to start it and then we're going to test a few things and I'm going to make a list of everything that's screwed up and then we're going to figure it all out. So it reset everything to 0 and kicked the ball out. So instead of actually just trying to play it, I'm going to hit everything myself. So when the ball goes through here, it hits this. Okay, let's see what we get. So we're getting 1 point on that. And it's rolling over to 10 points. I didn't really expect that. We'll try this one up here. It probably does the same. Yep. Alright, so the 1 point things are working. And that one. And that one. And that one. That one. That one. So you would expect all those to kind of do the same thing. Okay, so all the 1 point things are working. So let's see, this says advanced bonus score and 100. So we're at 50 right now and I've got 27 points. It did advance the bonus score. I didn't ring a bell, but I didn't get 100 and something sounds like it's locked on. So in the back, the 100 to 900 relay is stuck in. What I'm hearing locked on is probably the bell. Alright, so the 100 relay is locking on. .100 relay is locking on. I don't know how much I can test with it doing that because you're going to win 100 points on all kinds of stuff. So 50 points on that. That gave me 50 points. Alright, so when it gave me the next 50 points, it tried to go to 127, but it didn't roll over. And 100 point relay locked on again. Alright, so I'm going to look at that and figure out why it's doing that before we go any further. Okay, so I checked out the schematics and I checked out the relay in the back. So basically, after looking on the schematics, what was happening was when this relay pulls in, it sends a signal, or that sends the power over to here, which pulls in the coil. And then there is a switch on the back of the coil, the end of stroke switch, that opens up, that turns off this relay. So this relay was never turning off because that end of stroke switch was never opening. And it was never opening because the relay was never actually pulling in. And the reason it was never actually pulling in was because of bad solder on one of these switches. So that fixed that. So we are ready to try the next part and see what's wrong next, right? So I'll start it. We'll see if it resets. Oop. All right, so we're on ball 1. That's what that means. And we'll try our next little thing. So we hit the lane switch, and then we'll try the 1 point again. And it rolls over to 10 points, so that's good. So I'll hit this 50-point switch again. So when I hit it this time, we should get to 110. All right. So it's rolling over on the hundreds like it should. And then this one is the 100-point. All right, and that's rolling over too. I'm only getting 1 bell though. So let's see which one our bell should be on. So we can look on the schematics, and it should tell us what makes the bell ring somewhere. But it looked like my scoring's working now, right? All right. So here we have large bell is on the 100 point, which it's working like that. And then knocker, but I thought I saw 2 bells, which would make sense. Large bell, small bell, right? Perhaps not. Maybe we can tell on the so on this list here it says large bell. Let's see if there's one that says bell or small bell. Yeah, small bell. Small bell is A16. So here's 16, and there's A16. So the small bell should be rang by the 1 to 9 relay. Here's our same Gameover Relay switch that we messed with. So the 1 to 9 relay should do it, and the 10 to 90 relay should do it. So every time you score anything, it ought to do it. So that's going to end up being like a broken wire or something, or something's wrong there. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let me write it down on my list, right? Our small bell is not working. But we fixed the 100-point relay locking on. Small bell not working. Okay, so one of the other things I want to try, we've got switches here to say advanced bonus score. So we're at 1062 right now. Advance it up to 100. And then these light 50 or 100 when lit. So, yep, it gave me 1162. This says collect bonus score when lit, and then it says 100. So I should get 100 points and 500, or maybe I'll just get 100. We'll see. Okay, so I got the 500. It collected the bonus, but it didn't reset it, so it's probably not supposed to. Okay, now lights gun smoke score when lit. So I believe maybe this will do the thing on the back box. All right. So down at the bottom, I think it's saying something about gun smoke score. And then if you hit this button on the front, you get whatever you stop at. Oh, it did it automatically because I didn't hit the button. Oh, no, it didn't. Okay, there we go. So we'll have to wait till the back glass gets back in to make sure that's all right. But I think everything's about working. I think we've got it all figured out, folks. So what I need to do now is clean some stuff, and I'm going to work on that back glass a little bit. So I'm going to film a little bit of what we do with that, and then once we put it all back in, I'll do another video of playing the game and all of that stuff like we usually do. But we'll mess with the back glass a little bit now. This is the back of the back glass. You can see the sheen on it from where I have triple coated the crap out of it. So basically, if you use triple thick, it'll make it so that it doesn't flake any worse. You can see we got some bad areas around his gun, etc., etc. This guy's face, these little windows. which I can really never make any better. No matter what you do to little cracks in the windows like that, it never looks any better. So main thing I wanted to do was triple thick it, and then I want to at least get some kind of color behind it so that you can't see the bulbs. So I'm probably going to paint like a white or something on the back just so that it makes it where the bulbs don't shine through. And we'll see how it looks on the front, I guess. The Chicago coin glass is really thick. See how thick they made that thing. Look at that crap. I think it's 1/4 inch. See, it looks pretty good not lit up. Whenever it lights up though, you can see the bulb. So if you can do anything to make it where you can't see the bulb, it looks a lot better. So we're probably going to touch it up a little bit. And then like I said, if there's areas I can't touch up, I'll just spray it like a white color so that the bulb doesn't shine through. We are slowly putting the paint back on. So we've done like this aqua blue color. Now when this lights up, the hard part, when it's just sitting there with the lights off, it'll look fine. But once it illuminates, it's not going to look perfect. So the hard part is the places where the light actually shines through. So we redid some of the spots that were messed up on his vest and his pants. We redid some of the numbers that were messed up on the gun smoke feature. We redid some of the match numbers, and then a darker blue for some of the other match numbers. And then we redid and a little bit of this guy's scarf. And then we redid the gray that's missing on some of the guns and this guy's hat and this one match number. So you can see that the blue is looking pretty good. So over here is where we touched up those match numbers. So when the lights are off, it'll look just fine. You can see where we repainted a bunch of his gun. It's a pretty good match on the gray on that. And repainted some of the guy's hat, pretty good match. And you can see where some of the blue's been repainted on his vest and his pants. So next I'm going to do the skin tone on the face, which is the hardest part because it never looks good. But it'll look better than a light just shining through it. So we've probably got 4 more colors to do on it, and then maybe we'll be ready to put it back in the game. We have gone about as far as we can go, so you can see that we've touched up a bunch of little spots. And again, it looks good right now. There's no light shining through. Everything looks good, but once you get a little light shining through it, it won't look as good. So the best way to do it is with like a little air gun or something, but I'm not very skilled at that. So the only part that we left was this part around the score reels. Just in the past, I've kind of discovered that no matter what you do, that looks like crap. So I just leave it however it is. It looks better than whatever you try to paint back on it. But you kind of have to do something on, like for instance, his whole hand was pretty much gone. So you kind of have to put something back there. And this guy's face was all messed up, so you kind of have to repaint some of that. So it's not going to look perfect, but it's going to look much better than it does now, or than it did. It won't look better than it does now because we're done with that, right? So we're going to slide that back in, and on the playfield we went ahead and put some we finished up the last few little things that we had to do. We put the pop bumper caps back on, and we are pretty much done. So we kind of got it going. We made this little card for the ball and play thing. Game over. So all that's left is for us to film a little video of us playing it so you can see how great this game is. So we're going to put it all back together, and the next time you see us, we'll have a video and we'll show all the art and we'll look over the instructions, and then we'll play it a little bit. And we'll see how this sucker sounds once you get everything put back together. Oh, as far as sound, the small bell that wasn't working right, there was just a wire disconnected. You can actually disconnect the small bell or the large bell on it for whatever reason. So just a wire was unplugged. But there you go. That is Chicago Coins Gunsmoke. We've got it up and running. So we will see you on the next video where we will actually play the thing. Now, if you enjoyed us taking the time to film this for you, give us a thumbs up and leave your comments below. I mean, we could have just done this and not showed anybody, but we tried to film a little bit of it so you could see how we work through schematics and get one from not doing anything to fully working. So you can kind of see just how much work is involved. And the only criticism really I think that we could get is that we didn't go far enough. We should have spent even more time on it. But since we're a business, we can't really spend you know, hundreds of hours fixing an old game because they're just not valuable enough really. But we feel confident that we've saved it to the point where it's playable and collectible, and someone will enjoy this in their house and think that it's a really, really cool game, because it is. So we'll see you on the next video. Leave your comments below. Make sure and give us a thumbs up. And next time we'll be playing it.